Say hi, Joey only.
Hi.
Say hi, Joey only.
Hi, Joey only.
I'm Frank Down. You're listening to Comedeorology Weather Report on every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Joey only lives in Wells, British Columbia. He fights fires in Wells, British Columbia. He's a firefighter over Wells, British Columbia. He used to work for Vancouver Giants, Western Hockey League, and that's WHL. And Joey only show is on and Caribou Weather Do Joey only YouTube channel. It's on CFUR 88.7 FM in Prince George and CKUW 5.9 FM Winnipeg and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. It's on Shaw Spotlight TV all across Vancouver Island. And Joey only shows a really nice show. And I'm on this podcast with Brandon Hagan and Cookie Bailey. It's on Joey only show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Joey only's an ultra nice guy. And I'm on this podcast every Thursday night. See you soon on Joey only show every Thursday night. Best of luck here. I'm Frank Down. You're listening to Meteorological Weather Report, Caribou Weather Dude. Joey only on YouTube channel, Joey only on every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Best of luck here on Frank Down. You're listening to Joey only show every Thursday night. Say hi, Joey only.
Hi, Joey only.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we've got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Good morning, Prince George, and good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello, Kamloops and citizens of Victoria, greater area who might be watching us on Shaw Spotlight Television. This is the Comedeorological Report. I am Joey only here in Wells, British Columbia. Comedeorology, it's a science that we made up. It's a brand new science. It's the science of how much the weather sucks in Canada. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. It's your lighthearted, laughing look at world weather news. And we got lots of it. This week on the show, we have a special guest of honor, Jenny Hagan, her first time on the real Comedeorological Report, the one that doesn't put an I in Comedeorology. And they had de facto episodes without me this summer while I was out fighting fire. But as you students might know, you did not hear it on your radios because we did not produce those for radio. But anyways, so now we have Jenny Hagan on here for good. She's Saskatchewan storm chaser, and it's going to be a good conversation. But also, we got the panel, as per always, including the host of the show, the star, the guy, the man, the world-famous weatherman in Sydney, Nova Scotia, Frankie McDonald. He's out there right now, standing around, stealing Wi-Fi outside A&W, ready to speak to us. And, of course, we got man of the hour, always, Brandon Hauk. He's back this week, finally. Brandon Hauk's back. He decided not to go to a haunted house. Too scary, too cold, too crappy. He's here with us instead. Brandon Hauk down there in Brooks, Alberta, the radio weatherman himself. And Hilding Donaldson's out there in Glacier Plains, BC. And also from Saskatchewan, a storm chaser and photographer, Hank Leistra. We'll be talking to everybody at some point or another. First, we got to always do our Frankie time. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far this week, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. Then it got snow ahead for Oklahoma on Sunday and parts of Texas getting freezing rain and snow in Kansas and those places. It's going to head towards Oklahoma with some freezing rain, things like this Sunday coming up. And the Monday's going to get cold in Kansas, Oklahoma, those places. There's an Arctic guy heading towards North Dakota and South Dakota next week. That's going to drive cold air all in the southeastern United States as well. Then it got some rain heading for Sydney, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, and Quebec, and then it got warm air heading for Ontario. Then the cold front's going to go through this weekend as well up in Ontario. Then on this Monday coming to get some showers and rain in the forecast in Nova Scotia. Then it's going to turn really cold in Nova Scotia on Halloween. In Wisconsin, it's going to be really, really cold on Halloween too. In eastern United States and eastern Canada, it's going to be really cold on Halloween. It's going to bring warmer than average temperatures in western United States and western Canada on Halloween this year. And that's October 31st. And guess what? Tomorrow is 300th day of the year.
That's right. It's the 300th day of the year tomorrow.
Right now, it's 299th day of the year in my area as of right now.
Frankie, have you ever met storm chaser Jenny Hagan out there in Saskatchewan?
Hi, Jenny. I'm Frankie McDowell. I'm a YouTuber from Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada. My most viewed video is Sky Tries to eat 50 hot dogs at once.
Great to see you again, Frankie.
Jenny, you have returned. And my latest comedy video is a vampire drinking red tea.
Yeah, we can check that out in a little bit if you want, Frankie. We're going to have Jenny on as guest of honor tonight, Frank, and we'll be asking her all kinds of questions later. Frankie, who has the worst weather in the world? Frankie, what about the worst weather in the whole wide world?
And then the hurricane just hit Mexico. Hurricane Otis just hit Mexico, did a lot of damage and things like this. Then it got some storms coming on. A lot of thunderstorms in southern Brazil right now. There's a lot of snow up in the southern Chile mountains and rain on the coast areas in southern Chile as well. Their summer starts in December 21st there. The last sunset up above the Arctic Circle is November 18th. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Venezuela and Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador, and Bolivia, and Venezuela, northern Brazil is right now. Up across in Europe, like there's a big storm heading towards England, lots of rain and wind heading for northern France and heading towards parts of Spain and Portugal. A lot of wind and rain in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. It's really, really cold up in Norway, Finland, Sweden. Lots of wind and rain heading towards Denmark and Netherlands and those places. It's heading towards Moscow, Russia, and all these places.
What about in Japan, Frankie?
Oh my God, in Japan. Over in Japan. Lots of storms coming off the coast of Japan. It got cold air trying to make its way to Japan. Lots of showers in Japan and Tokyo and Sapporo, Japan. Lots of rain in southern China. Because the China's and it's in the dry season now. Lots of thunderstorms and rain in the Philippines and all those places. Off the coast of Japan to get really cold air in Vladivostok, Russia, and those places. Really cold air is going to head towards Magadan, Russia. Yakutsk could be getting extreme cold soon.
Excellent, excellent. What about up in outer space, Frankie?
Lots of solar flares shooting from the sun as for right now. And if you hear about this, I get major news. Over in India, monsoon season came to an end. Sri Lanka still bringing lots of thunderstorms and rain in Sri Lanka and far southern India.
Frankie, what's going on? I see you got the moons up behind you right now. How's the weather in Sydney, Nova Scotia? You don't have a toque on. Must be okay.
It's clear skies right now in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. It's mild. And guess what? There's a lot of storms coming off the coast of West Coast Africa. And there's a lot of thunderstorms and rain coming off of West Coast, Northwest Coast Africa. In South Africa, they'll be in the rainy season in Botswana, Mozambique, Madagascar in December and January and February. They'll be in the rainy season there soon. And parts of South Africa is getting lots of rain. This on Halloween too. There's warm air, cold air fighting each other in Madagascar. And La Réunion and Mauritius Islands in Australia and New Zealand. There's a lot of cold air in South Island, New Zealand. It's really, really cold air right now. And temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius in South Island, New Zealand. In Northern Australia, it's really, really, really hot right now. In Southern Australia, warm air, cold air fighting each other in Southern Australia. In Southeast Australia, lots of thunderstorms going on in Southeast Coast Australia with hail and rain and things like this lately. Antarctica will be 24-hour daylight starting November 18th. The last sunset up above the Arctic Circle is November the 18th, 2023.
Okay. Anyone got questions for Frankie McDonald?
Are you ready for your first snowfall, Frankie?
Yeah.
You ready to watch some Frankie videos for the week, everybody?
The vampire drinking red tea.
Is everybody ready for Frankie videos this week? Everybody ready for some Frankie videos this week?
Yes.
Let's go, Frankie!
Yes.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Hurricane Tammy south headed towards Bermuda on Friday, October 27, 2023. It's going to bring very strong winds to the rain showers in Bermuda. That's going to cause big waves crash on beach and shore, especially in Hamilton, Bermuda. It's going to bring down power lines, snapper tree branches in half. It's going to do some damage to wharfs and things like this. It's going to bring howling winds and it's going to bring some sideways rain. Wind-driven rain. It's going to last for the next few days in Bermuda. It's going to bring a lot of rain that could cause beach erosion. It's going to bring a lot of heavy rain and downpours in Bermuda, especially in Hamilton, Bermuda. It's going to bring a lot of rain. Winds are going to be really strong that can knock out power on Friday, October 27, 2023. It's going to bring heavy downpours, very strong winds. It's going to cause power outages. It's going to cause some damages to buildings and houses and things like this, including wharfs and things like this.
Wharfs too.
People in Bermuda, be prepared. Make sure your medical kit's ready, emergency kits, flashlights, candles, crank up radio, extra batteries, generators, battery operators, and bottled water ready as well. When you go for a walk, don't walk too far. When the storm gets bad, stay inside. Don't go outside. Stay in your houses. Make sure to stay away from the beaches and don't go near shores. Make sure have your mobile internet ready as well. And extra batteries and generators, battery operators, and bottled water ready as well. If you have anybody living in Bermuda, be prepared for Hurricane Tammy on Friday, October 27, 2023. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in Hurricane Tammy. Stay dry, be safe.
Stay dry, be safe. Don't get caught in Hurricane Tammy. Stay dry.
Hey
and
everybody,
safe.
it's Frankie down. Here's an update in Antarctica for November 2023. It's going to bring 24-hour daylight down below Antarctic Circle. It's going to be Southern Hemisphere. Summer's going to start on December 21st, 2023. And it's going to bring daylight 24 hours a day. It's going to get a little bit warmer, but it's still going to be really cold in Scott Station, Hamilton Scott Sopo Station, McMurdo Station, and Palmer Station, and all the other research stations in Antarctica. It's still going to be blowing snow, drifting snow in central Antarctica. It's going to bring really, really cold temperatures still. It's going to bring warmer. A lot of scientists are going to Antarctica this time of the year. A lot of research people and scientists are going down to Antarctica in the Southern Hemisphere summer from December 21st until March 20th, 2024.
Summertime
Sometime
in
around December
Antarctica.
25th, 2023, it's going to bring 24-hour daylight in Antarctica. And then it's going to bring a really, really, really light weather. It's going to bring, still going to be really cold. I urge everyone in Antarctica to dress very warm because it's going to be Southern Hemisphere summer in Antarctica, including McMurdo Station, Palmer Station, Scott Station, and Emerson Scott Sopo Station in Antarctica and surrounding areas. Be prepared, be safe, and stay warm, be safe. For people, including scientists in Antarctica, be safe.
Especially if you're in Antarctica.
Okay guys, let's do vampire drinking red tea.
Oh no, the vampire's drinking red tea, everybody.
Red tea.
So the vampire is drinking some red tea, and it's falling out of his mouth and back into his cup. It's really hard for vampires to keep tea in their mouth.
It's good.
I forgot that I bought vampire teeth, and they're still in the car, Frankie. And now next week, by the time I get them out of the car, it won't be Halloween anymore, and I'll have no reason to wear them. Now, why is he drinking red tea? Is there not enough blood around, Frankie?
The red tea, it's not blood, it's minerals, like, and nutrients from Africa, South Africa somewhere.
He can't. Is it because he can't find blood? So there you go. Yeah, the vampire's drinking red tea. Everybody, for you radio listeners out there, and C for 88.7, CKW59. Okay, there you
What
go.
about my latest video, my dad's son on SoundCloud?
Wait, this is his most popular video ever, Jenny.
Yes.
You guys see he's cooking up some hot dogs there, having a good time.
I want you to eat 50 hot dogs at once!
Boy,
50 hot dogs at once! Eat them all right now! Eat 50 hot dogs at once!
you better do what that guy says. 50. Are you counting? Did you count when you did this, Frankie? Do we know that he actually ate 50? That was like 20.
That's so bad! 20 more hot dogs!
Has the guy ever tried to eat watermelons? Get up! Don't go falling down.
It looks like Frankie and I have to have a hot dog
Eat
meeting.
those hot dogs right now!
Poor guy.
Dang it! I ate 50 hot dogs! Oh.
It's just like people exercising in the background while Frankie's eating 50
Get up!
dogs.
Don't go fall down! Because I told you to eat 50 hot dogs at once!
So that's what gym class is like there at Sydney, Nova Scotia High School.
Imogen finally made it.
Oh, Imogen's finally here. Right on. Hi, Imogen. Welcome to the show. We got a full cast now. We got Imogen, we got Hilden, we got Frankie, we got Hank Leister, we got Brandon Houck, we got Jenny Hagan.
If
Yes,
you're listening to Joey Only Show, you can watch it. You can listen to it on the CFUR 88.7 FM, Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM, and Winnipeg and CFBX 92.5 FM. McCain looks on Shot Spotlight TV in Vancouver Island.
Thank you for them station IDs, Frankie. Jenny Hagan, talk to us about your storm chasing career out there in Saskatchewan. We're already getting into the hour, so we better jump to you quickly here.
Well, I've been chasing severe weather across the Canadian prairies for about 14 years. So, what really got me interested was taking a ride inside a tent inside a plow wind when I was 7 years old. And it was my little Dorothy moment that had me absolutely intrigued about severe weather. So I've been actively chasing across the prairies, tornadoes, hails, wind, and I think I'm probably most noted for now is my winter storm chasing. For some reason, people love a crazy Canadian girl out playing in a blizzard. So
it's like they don't get as much blizzard in the States, but they get tornadoes and stuff, right? But it's like we get these things that we get that to them is quite fascinating. Like I was saying earlier, the amount of snow we get here in Wells, Americans just think that's crazy when they see my videos, right? So
it's a highly untapped market, the winter storm chasing. And, it's something that people that don't get to experience the weather like we do just eat up. So it's like highly marketable material, which a lot of people don't know.
Oh, big
the
time.
thing is that
I just did a latest video back at 8 o'clock p.m. Sydney, Nova Scotia time about my dad's latest song.
What's your dad's latest song, Frankie?
My dad's latest song is streaming one. And that means my dad's latest song on his SoundCloud Mystic Mist.
What's it called? What's the song called?
His latest song is Streaming a Daydream.
Streaming a Daydream on Mystic Mist SoundCloud. That's Frankie's dad. He's been on the show before, Frank McDonald Sr., and he makes music on SoundCloud. And Frankie wants everyone in the world to hear his dad's music, so he's always letting us know what Frank McDonald Sr. has put up recently. I'm gonna get to you in a few minutes, Jenny, and we're gonna talk to you all about all your craziest storm interactions. But I think I want to keep always in line with the order of the show and get our Western Canada weather report with Brandon Houck. The Brandon Houck report right now. Brandon Houck.
The Brandon Houck report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Houck report.
Yeah, the Brandon Houck report who has no report. Okay, that's no, I do have a report. I promise you. But last week here we had I wasn't here last week because I was
What's up with that? Report on first report. Attendance report.
Yeah, so we won all of our games, so that's the good thing. Actually we lost one game. But that's okay. It's in Bonnyville. We're fine.
It'll be the last time all season, probably.
Oh yeah, probably.
I'm actually missing Toronto game right now. That's my dedication to weather.
Oh, well, that's too bad, eh?
Yeah, but it's not like I worked for Toronto, whereas you worked for producing Brandon Brooks Bandits, the Brooks Bandits, the Brandon Houck Bandits.
That's right. And we had 7:30 game and a 7 o'clock game, and then plus to do the morning shows, so it's like 4 hours of sleep. So by Thursday night last week, I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do. I don't know if I could stay up an extra hour, so better, because I had 2 other games Friday and Saturday, so it was a wild week. This week's a little more relaxed. I was we were thinking about going to a haunted house tonight, but it's I'll show you the temperatures. It's just like brutally cold out there. Actually, not too bad. If it was in January, this would be a very nice night tonight, but temperatures were like -8 degrees with a wind chill. It feels like -13 out the door. It's the 26th of October. Kindersley, near where Jenny is, it's about -10 right now.
There's a solid -8 on the Barkerville weather station there.
Oh yeah, so we're almost about same temperature right now.
Yeah, we're enjoying similar misery, buddy.
Similar misery, and we've got periods of light snow tonight into tomorrow. We had that snow earlier this week. We picked up about 16 centimeters of snow. It was a fairly wet, sloppy snow to start, and I was standing outside for an hour with Jenny there, and I got soaked to the brim. Felt like I was out in a cold shower. It was fun, and then it cooled down quickly into the evening, and the wind picked up as well, and we got that 16 centimeters of beautiful snow that's still on the ground right now because we haven't gotten above freezing since Monday night there. So we're going to continue to see as we go into next week, just some periods of flurry activity, but temperatures are actually going to warm up here as we get closer and closer to Halloween. This weekend, actually not too shabby. Probably see daytime highs pushing at least near the freezing mark through the weekend. Or just slightly above, but Halloween is going to be our nice warm up to reality where seasonal temperatures are likely with 8 degrees. That will be nice. Halloween.
Oh, look at that up north of Hinton there. That's
a
nice
8, 9 degrees.
There. Wow.
Looking pretty dandy for Halloween.
And it won't last very long, will it?
No, it's going to cool right back down again.
Just like a little tease, but I'm going to get some things done. I swear this time.
Oh, yeah. You will, eh? As in, how much wood could Joey chuck, right?
Hey, Jenny. Hey, Jenny and the others. I'm on Instagram. I got 320,000 followers now.
320,000 followers. That's pretty good. This show actually airs on Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude YouTube. And this week I got, as of showtime, 1,996 subscribers. Almost 2,000 subscribers now, Frankie. Pretty stoked. That's a long, far cry from Frankie's 300,000 YouTube subscribers.
There's a moon up in the sky. Full moon is this Saturday coming.
Full moon's this Saturday coming. Jenny, what was the craziest storm you think you've ever chased? Best tornado chase first.
The best one, my favorite one was just actually last year, Bergen, Alberta, because that was the one I got to share for the first time with my daughter, who's 17. So that was her first tornado, and she got to stand side by side with me, and we recorded it from about 300 meters away.
How many do you think now? How many? Wild guess. How many tornadoes?
That I got probably about 15 to 20.
Well, first one with the daughter, then that's extra magical, eh?
Oh, it is.
The winter chasing, craziest. And of course, winter chasing, I mean, maybe the reason why it doesn't catch on is that nobody really wants to drive around in the winter.
Well, you don't do too much driving around. People just generally hate the cold, which they prefer just to curl up and stay warm. Actually, I think my craziest one was probably the Kindersley one. That one was battered by 100-kilometer-hour more winds for 9.5 hours.
Then guess what? I got something else to say. Extreme meteorologist and storm chaser Aaron Jacek met me in person on September 23rd, 2022 at the Mayflower Mall the day before Hurricane Fiona struck Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Did you tell him about the eclipse?
I told him about the eclipse back on Friday, September 23rd, 2022. There's a total solar eclipse heading right for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8, 2024.
You're saying Kindersley, Saskatchewan, 9 hours of wind.
Getting battered by wind and snow, and there was snowbanks built up to almost like the top of my vehicle. And that same one, like coming back from the card lock, came up. There was a clearing in the weather, so I thought, okay, perfect time to get home and get some food into me and stuff. And all of a sudden, the wind picked back up. Whiteout conditions, and boom, all these vehicles stopped in front of me. So stopped and then realized I was sitting on the railroad tracks and couldn't back up. So I was like, well, there's room to scoot around. We're just going to scoot around these people and take the back road into town. And turns out that a semi
train.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have been hammered by a train there because there's no lights, so I wouldn't have known it was coming. So tried to scoot around. Semi had slid off the road and blocked off the main intersection. So tried to take the back road, and somebody with a white truck just left their vehicle sitting in the middle of the road stuck. So at that point, my only option was just to park in the ditch because that was the safest place for me, that nobody might like hit me in the whiteout conditions, at least, hopefully. So got to just sit there and wait for the storm to pass, and then get the tractor to pull me out because I was buried pretty good into the ditch.
So you didn't do that intentionally.
No, I did it intentionally so I wouldn't get hit on the road because I didn't want to be stopped in the middle of the road.
Okay.
There was just no way to make it around this white truck somebody abandoned in the middle of the road. So,
Hank, you live in Saskatchewan. This kind of stuff happens?
Oh yeah. I was one time driving back from, a sporting event that my daughter was in, a wrestling thing, and man,
Girls wrestling, that's Saskatchewan, man. You guys are hardcore.
She's good at it too. She was doesn't do it at the moment. Anyway, man, the storm was just crazy, and the thing that really makes it 100 times worse is those storms when it's super, super windy. I mean, even if you get 3 centimeters of snow, if you have that crazy wind to go along with 3 centimeters of snow, the conditions are insane. It's not the amount of snow, it's the amount of wind. As long as there's some snow and then you get strong, strong winds on top of it. Oh man, like people had to be driving about 30 down the highway because you couldn't see where the road was, You just totally, you're driving with both the driver and the passenger looking out their window trying to tell where the shoulder of the road is, and you're weaving back and forth into the oncoming lane constantly because you can't tell if you're in the oncoming lane or not. So yeah, it gets nasty.
Frankie, was Saskatchewan meant to be civilized by human beings?
Saskatchewan, it's the flat plains and things like this.
Now, take a quick break over to like something completely different. How's the weather in Victoria going on, Imogen Cookie Bailey?
Well, it's dark and cold. That's about it. Dark and cold. We all week, maybe a high of 10-ish, low of 0. Clear skies, then rain. It's like a cold, frosty sponge. It's delightful.
There's Imogen's forecast for you.
Yep.
Dark and cold, maybe 10 degrees sometime.
Yeah, throughout the upcoming week, that's what we can expect is a high of 10 degrees.
That's pretty good.
I take that.
Yeah, it's warmer than we're experiencing right now in Wales, I'll tell you. I got the wood stove.
I'd wish it was 10. My.
Well, the fun thing about it is that during the summer, we get lows of 10. So it kind of shows the mediocrity of the weather here. We have slightly better and slightly worse versions of bland. And I mean, I love it, but it gets boring. The odd tornado ripping through, the odd sharknado, a few angry, biohazardous radioactive crabs walking across the highway, jamming up traffic. That'd be a nice change. But no, we have cold and damp as opposed to warm and damp.
I think most of the tornado activity in British Columbia the last couple of years has been coastal, which has been surprisingly, because usually right here in the Caribou is the place to go for severe convective weather in British Columbia.
I mean, we get warnings about storms all the time, but it always misses the tip of the island. Just with the layout of the islands around here, it just dissipates before it hits us. So
we had there was one tornado in Victoria. Or do you recall? I think it was last year. There was one in Vancouver as well that went through by UBC, and we've had a whole bunch of water spout warnings recently, right, Brandon? Lots of water spout warnings.
Well, more so water spout watches. I haven't had any warnings. But.
That's right, watches. Because how can you have a warning for a water spout? Because nobody lives where a water spout may be occurring.
Well, yeah. I mean, tornado warnings are kind of a thing, but we never really see anything. It gets bored before it lands. It senses the boredom of Victoria and it just goes away. They just go to sleep.
Hilding
Victoria's
Donaldson, how
rain
cold
shadow.
is it right now in Grassy Plains, Nova Scotia? Or Grassy Plains, British Columbia? Nova Scotia. What the heck am I saying? Oh, he's walking away.
It says -1 right now. That's quite
-1.
a bit warmer than it was this morning. It was -12 this morning.
Yeah, it's definitely warmer than it is here in Wells right now. I'm telling you that. How are the cows?
Oh, they're doing pretty good. We shipped the ones that were problem cows and things yesterday, and had a little funny thing. One gate got pushed, the post got pushed away from the gate so it wouldn't latch. We didn't realize it. And 2 cows got out in the middle of the field. We had to bring him in. When we had to bring him in, we found out that I'd bumped into a post on another gate with a tractor, and we couldn't close that gate, and I went out into another field. And it was a big chase around, but we got him on the truck.
Those cows are sneaky, eh? You gotta watch them. They're always up to no good.
Well, especially when you get all the problem cows ready to go on the track, and then they're the ones that find all those stupid things to do.
Yeah, well, there's the reason that they're the ones getting shipped off, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. I thought I had a really good video, and it turned up it got corrupted. I couldn't share it. It was this cow stood up on her hind legs and on her front legs over the side of the chute. Like the cow was standing on her hind legs 10 feet in the air. And she was there like 10 minutes. I got a real good video of it, and then the video got corrupted somehow, and I couldn't.
Hey guys, I like to introduce the Joey Only, the host of the Community Meteorological Weather Report, and Jenny, the Storm Chaser.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. What are your names?
I'm Maddie. I'm Brock. Shannon. I'm Caitlin.
That's excellent. My name's Joey Only here in Wells, British Columbia, and you're on the Comedeorological Report, your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. Does the weather suck right now in Sydney, Nova Scotia?
Yeah, it's pretty cold here. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
then how cold is it where Brandon is at?
And it sucks extra in Brandonstown.
It's -8 here. Wind
See?
chill's -13.
Same here in Wells. Same here in Wells. So is this the first time you ever met Frankie McDonald, kids? Is this the first time you ever met Frankie?
We love Frankie.
You see him all the time?
That means you're going to be on cable TV in Vancouver Island and at CFUR 88.7 FM Prince George and CKUW 95.9 FM Winnipeg and CFPX 92.5 FM in Kamloops.
Wow.
That's true. Do you remember the hurricane last year? What was that like?
Fiona, it was really, really bad.
Mine? You want to take one of mine
Yeah.
too? Okay, you ready? I'll take mine. Okay. Here's shit.
Hurricane Fiona was the worst hurricane ever in my province.
Hurricane Fiona was pretty bad. Oh,
It's part of Frankie's life. This is
Yeah, I love
Frankie's
it.
every day.
Everyone's got to get the pictures with Frankie.
These people are going to be on cable TV in Vancouver Island.
Yeah, you tell those girls. Thank you for coming on the show. Random.
Frankie doesn't look cold over there. Those three, they look pretty cold. There should have brought one of these along.
No,
The
one of
Canadian
these.
top hat. It's required. Canadian top hat. If you're going outside, you got to own one.
So Jenny, tell us how you first got into storm chasing, where that comes from, and what you learned along the way, how you learned it, and just sort of give us an overview of your meteorological love.
Well, it started, as I said, when I was 7 years old. I was camping in the backyard with a friend, and plowing moved through picking up my tent, and I went for a ride like a kite and came out to a bunch of trees and trampolines flying everywhere. I thought I was in the middle of a tornado at the age of 7, but that piqued my interest, and I just kind of stayed with me. Moved out to this west central area of Saskatchewan right around the time that the movie Twister came out. And this area is really an active area for severe weather. So I remember there being all these tornado warnings, like through the week, through the summer, and I would ride my bike out to the end of the street, hoping, I could catch a tornado on the edge of town or something at the age of 12. So 16 just started, driving around and learning how storms moved and teaching myself the environment. And a lot of what I picked up along the way is self-taught and picking it up from like wonderful weather people here in Canada. So getting a little information and adapting it to myself. So now I do my own forecasts and figure out where I'm targeting. And amazing people like, Brandon and Kyle Britton and Jacqueline Whitall, they all taught me amazing things through the years.
Yeah, the thing about the weather communities, it's really inclusive that way, right?
Especially here in Canada. Like, it's amazing on how accepting and how close the weather community becomes. Because I've been doing a lot of work with the organization Girls Who Chase to support women in the field of storm chasing, meteorology, and STEM. And, the challenges we face here in Canada, we don't face a lot of like what the US women have to chase, because the men in the chase world here are absolutely amazing at encouraging our female chasers.
And the other guy, extreme meteorologist Reed Timmer, he's chasing storms too. He's from AccuWeather. Reed Timmer, he's a extreme meteorologist and storm chaser.
He's the best. He's the best. What I find interesting too about you when you give your overview story of like how you kind of came to where you are, and like for a lot of us, I mean, it's kind of the same for Brandon Houck. It's kind of the same for me. Like I got struck by lightning when I was young, and then I had to know, and it was like kind of the same as like you riding your bike out to the end as me, like using the AM radio to dial in where the storms might be happening this afternoon and decide if maybe there's a chance it comes our way. Back things were kind of old school back then. You couldn't just go on the internet and look at radars, and then like a lot of us have that same. I think in Canada, the weather community, there's not very many of us. In the States, it's kind of a big thing. It's competitive. It's like tornado chase. There's kind of a machismo almost about it. You know what I mean? Like kind of a.
And we don't really get paid in Canada here the way they get paid down in the States. So.
Yeah, there is that.
When is the last sunset up above the Arctic Circle?
Trivia time. When's the last sunset above the Arctic Circle?
Ooh, I'm gonna go November 20th.
I was gonna say November 21st. Brandon's looking online. He's guessed. He's not guessing.
I'm not Googling. This is a wild guess.
It's November the 18th.
18th. Brandon and I both overbid. The price is wrong. Wah, 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 wah.
The longest day of the year in Invercargill, Christchurch, and Dunedin, New Zealand is December 21st. And the shortest day of the year in Sydney, Nova Scotia is December 21st as well.
Hank, would you say that your, how you came into storm chasing and love of weather, and the quick question will be for Brandon too, is much the same as Jenny's story? Like, do you see some commonalities there?
Well, I mean, not really, because she started much younger than I did, and I used to think storm chasers were completely out of their mind.
Are we not? I thought we were as unstable as the air we chase.
When I was like in my 20s, I thought storm chasing was absolutely bonkers, and only half insane people did it. And then I saw Greg Johnson. I was watching. When I was first on Twitter, and it was relatively new. I started following, because so many people followed him. I started following Greg Johnson.
Yeah.
And so he's a well-known storm chaser. He used to be on Twitter a lot, that guy, but not anymore. Anyway, back then, I saw some of the stuff, and I saw all of a sudden there was a day with multiple tornadoes right in my area, and Greg was right on it. I was down in my basement. He shared all this footage afterward of these amazing cold core tornadoes, and there was like 3 of them right in my general area, that same day. And he didn't catch all of them, but various people did. And I just thought that was pretty cool. And then I decided to, once I saw a storm, I was good at looking at radar and stuff and seeing when storms were coming. I had an interest in that sort of thing. So when I saw a storm coming one day, I decided to go out driving, but be carefully close a little bit closer in on it, and that storm just totally blew me away. So this was when Jenny had already been chasing for a while. That was like 2011, 2012, something like that.
So it's something like, it's a little bit different than the American chase community, I guess, because if this was, America, you'd be kind of like out there, like letting the air out of Jenny's tires or something like that, or you'd be like watching which direction she's going to go and deciding whether or not to go that way or not.
We have a friendly competition with each other. We like to say that we hate each other when they, the other person nails that epic shot and you totally missed it. But really, we're proud of each other. But we still have to throw a few jabs out there.
I don't know if you have to. Brandon, was it much the same for you? How did you become the nerd you became?
The nerd that I became, that was flying through a thunderstorm at the age of 4. So I was really, really young. And lightning hit the side of the plane, and I had the best ride of my life that day.
Boom! There goes the dynamite.
Everybody else in the plane, they did not have a good time. But I became fascinated with thunderstorms, and I was a guy, if I missed a thunderstorm, I had a temper tantrum. Yeah. So I'm still kind of like that today too.
I noticed.
The quietest tantrum ever. Brandon's so quiet. I can picture him just silently shaking his little fist and glaring, frowning, drawing his eyebrows on to look more angry.
Building house, the weather in your area.
You're asking me?
Yes.
Well, we had nice sunshiny days the last 3 days, but it's been like 12 in the mornings and only up to 0 during the day. So it's pretty cold. And their skiff of snow hasn't blown away, so and hasn't melted. So you get cold when you're out working.
Time to look at the comments. Today, the comments. Carol Bergstrom says, "Love you all." Shelley Slinsky, what does it say on the Vampire's Cup, Frankie? What did it say in the Vampire's Cup?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. When's cold weather coming to Florida? From James Hansen.
Does Florida even get cold weather?
What they think is cold is different than what we think is cold.
I was in Florida once when the temperature got to 0, and that was very entertaining. Very entertaining. I was out in the swimming pool by myself. I had the whole swimming pool to myself. It was awesome. And the guys that were maintaining the pool, they had big winter parkas on. They had toques on, mittens on. They were ready to go out in the Arctic. And here I am in the swimming pool all by myself that day. And we went out. We went mini golfing that day too. I was wearing shorts. It was awesome. It was cool enough to have a sweater on. So kind of dressed like this with a pair of shorts. And I saw this other person at the bus stop. She had a whole parka on, and she was sitting there. She was shivering. Oh my goodness. She was not having a good time.
You're exaggerating. You know how I know? I know you're exaggerating because they don't own parkas in Florida.
They don't sell them there. You cannot import a parka.
They must have got them from their friends up north, eh?
But to be fair, that is the best way to advertise that you're Canadian. Incidentally, it will also mark you as a target. So if anyone's going to rob someone, rob the Canadian, because Canadian will just go, "Here's my wallet. I'm sorry I had it.
Here's my coat." Yeah.
Kevin says, Imogen will be staying on Frankie's couch. That
Not true.
not true. That's incorrect. I'll be
Monday,
staying on the couch, and
8/24.
Imogen will be on the spare room.
On the roof. I'll be on Frankie's roof. I'll be camping on Frankie's roof for the eclipse.
Hotel, Holiday Inn. And I got something else to say. Did you hear about this? I got something else to say. Tomorrow night, Space Guy Show, 9 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Atlantic, 7 o'clock Pacific.
I didn't hear about that. No.
Space
James,
Guy Show Halloween special.
Halloween special. This should have been the Halloween special, but we had like 2 weeks of Halloween special already, so we just decided to have a normal show. And besides, we got Jenny Hagan on. Well, that's so great. Oh, speaking of tornadoes, sirens, Frankie James Hansen wants a Frankie tornado siren. Everybody. Everybody. Come on, everybody. Tornado sirens.
Wow. I better take cover, eh?
My dog has no idea what is going on right now.
If that was in panel view, then anyone watching this on TV would have seen that Joey and Frankie were the only ones doing it, and the rest of us were just watching with great amusement.
My dog tried to join in.
I found out Compound Media is also coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8, 2024, too.
It's supposed to be everyone does it when we do the tornado siren, everybody.
So it kind of cuts out a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, the sound just cuts out and it gets real bad. We're not set up for that.
Sounds like you're whispering the tornado siren, like whing! Yeah, something like that. Cats that are hiding behind the counter. I don't know.
And that's why we need everyone to do it, so that all the different dysfunctioning.
So we can have worse audio. So we can seem like we're subpar for cable access. Is that what you're going for? Are you trying to lower the quality from cable access Zoom?
Well, what I was actually trying to do is be funnier.
Gary and Dino show is heading for Salton Sea on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up, the 27th, the 28th, to 29th of October. Gary and Dino show be in Salton Sea.
Hey, Frankie,
Yeah, I
what
like those-
monsters do they have
I
in the
like those
Salton
guys.
Sea? Frankie?
They probably have some kind of fossils.
You know what they do? The Salton Sea is infested with fossils and extra salty monsters. So if you're going to get attitude from a monster, it's going to be right there. They're going to be extra salty. They'll come rearing up out of the water. They'll just flip you off and then walk away. Like it's nothing but attitude.
That's where Gary and Dino staying on the Friday the 27th, Saturday 28th, and Sunday the 29th, Salton Sea.
That is awesome.
Is like not only is Gary and Dino's show tougher than us, but they're also funnier and more popular. Yeah, I like those guys, Gary and Dino. They're really good show, really popular guys. Really good, funny, really funny guys. Funny
Stay
guys.
up all night long. It's great.
Sleep deprivation does lead to some kookiness. It's always a blast with those guys.
So, final questions for Jenny Hagan. For our meteorology students at University of Winnipeg who might be listening to this show, where can they maybe find some of your work?
They could check me out. I'm at Lost in SK across all social media. That includes TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Insta. TikTok's my favorite because I get to act like a complete goofball.
Hey, Jenny, I got TikTok, Frankie McDowell 1984.
I've already followed you.
How do you get lost in Saskatchewan anyways? You can see like from one side to the other. It's like, oh crap, where am I? Oh look, there's Saskatoon 300 kilometers away, and there's Regina. Cool, I just got to drive through the middle of them.
It takes a special talent.
I guess though, when you get wind blowing 80 kilometers an hour, like Hank was saying, with 3 centimeters of snow, it can be pretty easy to get lost in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and people nowadays can't seem to grasp the concept that your daytime running lights don't turn on your taillights. So it's always interesting following behind these people in daytime snowstorms that don't turn their headlights on because they got no taillights.
That's true. That's true. Does people ever ever call it Saskatchewan?
Saskabush?
Oh yeah,
Saskabush.
But we don't have trees in western part here. That's all out in the eastern part. I grew up on the eastern portion of Saskatchewan. There's trees, there's lakes. And then I moved out here and I'm like, yep, this is the Saskatchewan everybody talks about. It's just flat, no trees, no nothing.
You literally have to burn cow patties to stay warm.
Nothing wrong with a ready source of fuel.
There's
Flammable
plenty of
poop
that
is
to go
good.
around.
Right? Flammable poop is the most eco-friendly fire starter you're gonna ever use.
And with when you get so much wind down there too, all you got to do is you put up like a big net, and it just collects all the poop flying through the air, and then that's how you get your firewood for the year.
Don't open your mouth too wide.
Sure. So one thing we didn't really talk about this week, but we talked about in the pre-show, Hurricane Otis. It came out of the blue. Who's got something on Hurricane Otis? It was like, it was nothing, and then it was a Category 5 hurricane, and people were getting destroyed in Acapulco.
Yeah, Hurricane
That was
Otis. It was a tropical storm. It was forecast to make landfall as a tropical storm. And then Otis decided, nah, I'm going to be a Category 5 hurricane and surprise everybody. And that's what Otis did. And it made landfall at Acapulco there. So, Category 5.
I saw a graphic of the predictions versus the actual as far as intensity goes. And like every model predicted it was going to be nowhere close to a Cat 5. Every single model. And then all of a sudden it just did it. It was bizarre.
Do you think maybe sometimes we get a little too reliant on computer modeling, and we still need to have a little bit of that feel of the pulse, a little bit of guesswork? I mean, the conditions had to have been somewhat there for this to happen. How could everyone have missed that? It just come out of the blue and took them. Yeah, dozens dead in Acapulco area. Anyways, anyone got a last question for Jenny, our guest of honor? Of course, we'd like to have you on the show whenever you want to come on. Then you join the panel. I'd love to have you join the panel.
I never heard how much snow you got down there, Danny, on Friday or whatever.
How many times does Saskatchewan always get hailstorms by severe thunderstorms in Saskatchewan? Does Saskatchewan always get hail instead of rain?
Yeah, we got 20-ish centimeters of snow, and then for Frankie's, yeah, we get a lot of hailstorms here.
Summertime. I'm just talking about summertime severe thunderstorms in Saskatchewan. That they always get hail rather than rain.
No, they don't always get hail rather than rain, but rain has been pretty sparse. So we've had more hail this year than we have rain, and only a single tornado recorded for Saskatchewan this season.
Hail is different than rain.
Yeah, we had more hail this year than rain.
Yeah, that's a dead season, eh? One tornado. Extreme
I don't
drought.
know. Brandon might know it better, but I can't think of a time there was ever only one tornado in Saskatchewan for the season.
Yeah, it's been definitely a while, I guess. Pretty much ever since I've been tracking all this stuff. That's the first time I've seen one tornado for Saskatchewan. Usually it's Alberta that fails on the tornadoes. Like, oh, we had 3 tornadoes. Look at Saskatchewan with 12 tornadoes. Holy! I guess this year is a lot different, eh?
I mean, in the diagram, a severe thunderstorm starts off light rain, then it goes to the moderate rain, then heavy rain, then small hail, then large hail, then tornado, then dry slots.
Any other questions for Jenny before we wrap up this week's episode?
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah.
Down there at Richmond, are there still crazy kooks camped out down there at Richmond in the school? I heard about that from like a month ago. I don't remember. I don't know. Haven't heard any news.
You live near these people?
Yes, we do have them still staying in the old school there. That's the Kingdom of Canada cult that has ties with, what is it? What's that? I can't think of the name down in the States there.
Me neither.
Crazy.
The crazy people.
Yeah, I'll think of it here, but they set up camp. She calls herself the Queen of Canada, and they don't believe in paying taxes or anything like that. They have threatened to publicly execute members of the community, the police chief. They think that all healthcare professionals should be lined up and executed as well. So this is the cult that's living in Richmond. The local people are trying to protest it, and they've even set up a temporary RCMP detachment there.
If
Wow. Is that
if you want
is that Romana's cult? Is that the one that's
Yeah, it's her.
Romana,
So it's her
okay.
and a few of her select followers that are staying
Yeah,
in this old abandoned school in Richmond, but it's on private property, so
Okay.
there's nothing they can do about it.
if you want to follow me on social media,
Yeah.
I'd rather follow you in a Pinto.
I'd rather follow Frankie than the Queen of Canada.
if you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is Frankie AMCD1. My YouTube channel is Stock Globes, and my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. Best of luck to you. I'm Frank Down. You're listening to Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Be prepared! Hurricane warning! Earthquake warning! Hurricane warning! Earthquake warning!
That's Frankie. I'm Joey Only out here in Wells, British Columbia. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. I hope you enjoyed our show about how much the weather sucks. And it's been our special guest episode of Jenny Hagan, lost in Saskatchewan, out there, living near the Queen of Canada cult. And that's I'm kind of blown away that you live near that. That happens in Saskatchewan. And that's Saskatchewan for you. Brandon Haukey's over in Brooks, Alberta, which is slightly less crazy, I guess.
That'd be because I'm on the radio right now, and I tend to get sexier by the time I go on the air, so that's how it works here.
And Hilding Donaldson, he's up there in Grassy Plains, which we know is crazy. And I don't know about Wilkie, Saskatchewan's like where Hank Fleest is from. It looks so far from all the photos of Hank seems to live in the nicest, least crazy place out of all of us. Certainly that's not Imogen down there in Victoria, British Columbia. It's a crazy place. And Frankie, he's out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And as you can tell by the street youth we meet on the episode shows, it's a very dangerous and crazy place, but Frankie bravely walks around at night stealing Wi-Fi from A&W and places like that.
Not true.
And selling it back to them in exchange for burgers and fries. You know what? I gotta say, it would be super cool to be able to say that your neighbor's a queen. I mean, I have a queen neighbor, but that's because I've got a lot of drag queens in my community. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But someone living in an abandoned school, a self-titled queen of the country, and you can say that's your neighbor. That's actually kind of cool.
I mean, what am I here in this lodge then? I got this crazy lodge in the mountains. Like that, what does that make me? Like the emperor of
the Duke of the Mountain Hole. Like,
well, she came from BC, so you guys shared her.
Yes.
No, we kicked her out.
She was not kicked out. You know what? The interesting thing is a lot of people here.
That's the show.
Subtle, Frankie, subtle. To be fair, Frankie's watching the time. I'm not.
That's it. That's the recorded show for this week. Frankie's right. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye for now.
Frankie, the weatherman. Frankie, the weatherman. Who? Frankie. Who? Frankie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie!
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we've got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.